a super secret location deep within the mountains of Colorado, it's time to strap up, strap in, or strap on with your host, Shenanigans in One Shot. It's From the Ashes Radio!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to From the Ashes on About Face Media. We are so glad you are here. If you are listening to us on the WTF Nation, we are so glad you're here. If you're hearing us anywhere else, if you're listening to us right now on any of the Facebook pages, YouTube Live, whatever the case may be, my hetero life mate seems to have lost something. Pretty sure it's not his car keys. Pretty impressed that he made it his way through security. We have one hell of a show for you this evening. We are going to talk to our favorite new inventor. His name is Chris Carter. We call him the Vanilla Gorilla. And when you meet him, you'll find out why he's got that nickname. What else? We've also got, of course, Combat Carl's going to be here tonight. We've got Never Forgotten, sadly. Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff. And of course, your safety brief. And I'm pretty sure, knowing Chris Carter, the Vanilla Gorilla, that he's going to have some good stuff for the safety brief to add in as well.
Did you say we have Combat Carl or Combat Chairman?
What did
Can't wait.
You've been having a lot of fun with Combat Carl lately. You know, for a while there, I was finding these like feel-good stories that I wanted to use for Combat Carl, and you're like,
no,
hey, man,
that's a different bit.
That is not what we do here.
Wrong bit.
And you're so right.
I know.
There's such good stuff out there. I mean, from Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, bosses getting fired to
thank God,
to pilots crashing into aircraft and killing 62 people and ignoring the instructor pilot while they did it. And,
hey, you know, I did actually have another Carl that was prepared, so I kind of think we should do two.
So it's funny that you say that way. So our regular listener, Heidi Roswell, is like, how come you guys only do one? Well, there's so much to choose from.
There is. And we have done two before, but there is a screaming one this week.
Well,
not just this week, the last couple, over the weekend, that I absolutely cannot.
Well, it's your radio show. Let's hear it.
Yours first. This is not mine. Nothing is mine.
What?
Everything's borrowed.
Oh, man, hold on. What are you talking about? If this thing goes down tomorrow, man, it's all your fault. I mean, but folks, we are so glad you're here. Heidi, we're glad you're here. We were just talking about you. I don't know if your ears were ringing. You just heard us, but yeah, we may have more than one Carl for this evening. So we may go with your suggestion.
I wonder what hers is. I wonder if it's the same thing.
Folks, if you're listening to me right now, we're doing really good with listeners, and we love that you guys interact. Please tell your friends, by the way. We'd love to have more of you listening and getting some of the resources that we hand out. We are on all the big podcast platforms. We're on the Apple iTunes podcast. We're on, what else are we on? We're on fucking, what are the other ones? We're on Spotify. We're on iHeart. We're on all those.
Xhamster, browsers.
Yeah, exactly.
we've been on everything.
The hub. Everybody knows what the hub is. I would be extremely grateful if you would go and subscribe for us on the podcast platforms, at least one or two. It would be really, really helpful for us as we venture further, and because we get a lot of great support from like Combat Flip Flops, Thigh Huggers, C4 Roofing or C4 Drywall, all kinds of great support that we get. We can get more if we have more subscribers on those podcast platforms, and we'll be able to help more veterans. So we would really appreciate it if you would go to your iTunes, whatever you listen to your podcast on, go on there, click the subscribe for us. You don't even have to listen. I mean, well, we edit it a bit and drop it in those podcast platforms. So, nothing new for you guys. Stephen Cote, what is up, Stephen? We're glad you are here. Very glad you are here, sir. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling well, and hope all of your events. If you don't know who Stephen Cote is, he is a huge veteran advocate. Combat Flip Flops for all the groomsmen in my wedding. Are you serious?
I love it.
Michael Connors, thank you so much for
That's
that.
super rad.
We really, you know, Jared, remember the guy that wears the orange, looks like a spaceman gi in the morning? I know you don't go in the morning all that often.
I know. All you had to do is say traffic cone.
That's the same thing I called it.
That's what I call him.
I always say, every time I see him in that thing, I'm like, would the defendant please rise? What the fuck are you
Folks,
wearing, man?
I mean this with all due respect, but if you are new to jiu-jitsu, that means less than 3 years and you're wearing a white belt, you wear a white fucking gi. Okay? You do not get to dress like a clown until you earned your right to look and act like a fucking clown, which means you at least gotta have a colored belt and some gears.
He's got a jiu-jitsu gi that makes him look like it's a NASA astronaut outfit. And
Dude,
every time he walks in,
I've never seen as obnoxious of a gi in my life. I take a close second as a white belt wearing a bright red one and getting
I've
made
seen
fun
those
of
pictures.
it. Oh, dude, I got made fun of by Helson fucking Gracie, bro. Like so bad. I fucking quit wearing it.
Because it didn't have your name on it, or what? I mean, on the lapel.
Man.
That is such a weird thing at Gracie. I don't know why they put their names on. That is one of the weirdest things.
Depends on where you're at.
Oh, is it?
We've never done it.
I think I've been to like 2 Gracie Baja.
Well, you just threw out.
Life.
Don't. Never mind.
What? Tell me.
Just don't put Baja with the rest of the family because they I don't put them with the rest of jiu-jitsu because they operate so differently inside their walls than any other place in the world. But they are
I didn't know there was a difference. Tell me the difference.
They're the only franchised jiu-jitsu association that exists. They're a fucking franchise, bro.
I didn't know that. Okay, that explains why they're everywhere like a McDonald's.
Because they're a McDonald's. No, I
didn't know that.
Don't get me wrong. There's some absolutely amazing Gracie Bajas out there. They have been incredibly successful. You can't help but hate on them a little bit because they're success. But there's going to be some big variances between the 300 different academies when their franchises anyway.
Who wears underwear these days?
People have they still make underwear.
But the reason I was talking about Jared is Jared makes patches for combat flip-flops. He has a machine where he can make patches and you can put anything you want on there. I have a pair that says toes towards enemy, and he makes badass patches.
I've seen that. He does that patch.
He's the one that makes those.
I should quit calling him traffic cone.
No, that's not how that works.
Good afternoon, sir. Would you like to make me a patch?
He will. I'll reach out to him. He'll make it. But the point I was about to make is, Michael Connors, if you're getting them for your groomsmen, I will connect you with the guy that makes those patches for the combat flip-flops, and man, we can hook something up. He makes some nice stuff, and he makes good quality stuff. I've had mine for.
He's not like crazy expensive, is he?
I paid a total of plus tax, Colorado state and federal.
Okay, I'm tracking.
I paid nothing.
Okay, so
all right, we're getting it. We're over time. Tell us about your combat, Carl. What do you got?
No, yours is first.
Oh, Joe, can you bring up mine? Well, let's talk about it. And I believe it was Joe's. It's not mine.
No,
Joe brought it up. Joe, I love that you're doing this now. U.S. fighter jet rolls off an aircraft carrier, sinks into the ocean, the Navy says. Let's pull this.
Oh, you should.
Up.
You should see which one it was that flew off. It rolled off. Sorry, it didn't fly.
We're scrolling.
I guess it did fly for a minute.
Yeah, for a second. Well, I got this from the Hodge twins, which is Hodge, not Hodge, the other one that you're thinking of. Let's see here. A more than $60 million FA-18 Echo Super Hornet on the U.S.
I was so wrong earlier when I told the wife how much it was. I was like, I think it's like 20 mil. I was like, them motherfuckers are expensive. No, $60 million. $60 million just rolled off your carrier,
dude,
into the like. Could you imagine being an air traffic controller just holding up a card like 9.8?
Yeah,
9.6. Oh fuck.
Well, the fighter jet, according to the Strike Fighter Squadron 136, was actively under tow in the hangar bay when the move crew lost control of the aircraft. The aircraft and the tow tractor were lost overboard. So we didn't lose just an airplane. We lost a tow tractor too.
Wait.
A fucking John Deere.
Hold on. Hold on. What rank was the guy driving?
Guaranteed it was an E3.
E3.
Guaranteed.
Maybe E4, but I'm betting it's an E3.
Yep.
I want to know how close it was for him going over with that before he jumped off.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee
because I would have went with the fucking plane. I'm going with the fucking. I know better, bro.
Yeah.
His career is going to be special. until he's gone. And then for the rest of his life, it's
Yeah.
still going to be special with all of his buddies. And oh my God.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I'm sure those are not the details we'll get. But I can't fucking wait to hear. Hey, if any of you Navy folks have any insight into this one, I would love the details. Yeah, Joe Allen, what will his nickname be?
Oh my goodness,
Down
folks.
with the plane. Let's hear it, folks. What do you?
Give
What's
me
this guy's
some nicknames
gonna
for this
be?
fucking guy.
You know the nickname, they how they are in the military.
I got the best. Do you know what? I got it.
Hit me.
Chairman Carl. Fuck better. What do you need?
Unless
Carl.
I hear something better, I want that is winning right this second. Doge must have had a fit. You're probably right. His nickname will be Mater, because Toe Mater. All right, Raj, you're picking up the pack. Let's hear it.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Let's put it this way. So, my crew chief, who I love and adore, and is a good friend of mine, when I was flying, would let me help out a bit when it came to airplane maintenance. I could hold the blades, I could open up compartments for him and stuff like that.
People gave you a sharp object.
There was a few times where he's like, why don't you sit down and write, and I'll tell you what to write down, okay? I'm not mechanically inclined. I've rebuilt a whole bunch of cars, but I am not mechanically inclined. Let's leave it at
I
that.
worked with you.
Yes, you've seen.
I told you by the end of 2025, you'll be a different person. Now, if we start January 1, 2026, like we did this year,
yeah,
we'll have a talk.
We
But
have
next year will be different.
Conversation.
There'll be no pressure until then.
But
Actually, no, there's nonstop pressure because that's the only way we'll get better. But anyway.
And one of those times I was driving the tow, and he's like, hey, man, step on the brake. All right, why don't you hop out? And I was like, what the fuck, dude? What'd I do wrong? He's like, nothing, but you're not building confidence. Let's call it that, right? Okay.
So you actually towed one?
Oh, yeah, I've towed aircraft before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So it shouldn't have rolled off.
No. It's very real. So I can see how it could happen because you're supposed to have someone in the aircraft on the brakes on the aircraft so that if something does happen, they can stomp on the brake pedals.
Okay.
And stop the whole thing from happening. But think it through. You're on a moving ship in the middle of the ocean. You got wind, you got waves. I was doing it on flat ground at Fort Carson, and it was tough for me. I can absolutely see how some bad shit could happen, and that bitch pitches off the edge of the aircraft carrier. Absolutely. I'll bet it scared the ever-loving fuck out of that dude driving the tow. But yeah, Navy folks, love to hear if you got something.
Yeah, I guess I
Can't keep his bike upright, but towed a plane. Go fuck your hat, Joe Allen. These are my friends. These are the people that love me. What the fuck, man? You drop a motorcycle once or twice. You build a bridge. Do they call you Bob the bridge builder? No. But you suck one dick and you're Bob the cocksucker for the rest of your life. Hey, Seth.
Are you speaking from experience? I'm very confused here on what the fuck is going on.
Do you know what a kidnapper's favorite pair of shoes are?
Jesus Christ. I think I've heard this before.
Probably.
No, I have, and I won't think of it. Go ahead.
White Vans.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fuck. Somebody literally asked me this like the other day.
It might have been me.
It might have been you.
My jokes, they repeat a lot.
Oh
so.
my God. I cannot read the entire headline of the news story because it'll ruin like kind of the punch or like the buildup of why it's Carl. So I'm gonna leave some out. Over 200 people detained at unlicensed nightclub in Colorado, DEA says.
In Colorado.
Colorado.
There's a lot of service members in Colorado.
There's a lot of military bases. Now, hold on. Did you hear where it was?
Springs, wasn't it?
Colorado Springs. Where is all the military bases?
Uh-oh.
So here's what's crazy. We
No.
detained 200 people. Wait. Let me get to we had
Is Vincent Vargas about to call into the show?
You know, the TDA guys, MS-13. We have firearms. We have drugs. We have 114 illegal migrants.
That's a barracks
we have
That's a barracks party.
Drugs and weapons, and service members.
What the
both as patrons and running security. Now
what?
Now here's what's really funny. I immediately was
Look at
like,
the fucking picture.
Yes.
How many
Also-
service members are in that picture?
Also, I love that Subaru right there.
Yeah,
God,
no
I wonder
shit,
whose
the
car that
Subi.
is, because it's so easy to pick that out from another one.
Look at that thing.
I felt bad for that guy. Anyway, so I have to throw him underneath the bus, but our producer made a stupid comment. He goes,
When has he ever?
he goes, well, he almost never, bro. He's smarter than us.
He is almost a DACA.
So he goes, I can't. He's like, this is fucked up. Like, I can't. He was serious, bro. He's like, I can't believe there's fucking service members here. What the hell's the matter with them, bro? We are not at a time of war, and
Yeah.
all of our guys,
Are
including
bored.
the infantry guys, are stateside.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, I'm telling you right now, without even no surprise, the only thing that would surprise me if they were not part of the drug ring. Now let's do a little history.
Oh, here we go.
You ever seen American Gangster?
Yes.
Okay. Why the fuck would we not think our service, dude, we are some fucking thug motherfuckers. Put us overseas, give us something to do. But I mean, you're talking with the most elite organized group
Michael Connors
in the
just summed
world
it up. He's
is
exactly
the
right.
military.
Yep.
So, and they don't pay us well.
Yep.
I'm telling you, they were in thick as thieves. I am not surprised at all. American Gangster, dude, fucking Vietnam. During Vietnam, they were bringing heroin over in fucking dead soldiers' coffins and bodies. So that's a real story. That's not like, I mean, of course, that's a movie version, but that was an issue in Vietnam, was fucking massive drug trade in service members.
Yeah. I'm
Crazy.
amazed it didn't get worse with us being in Afghanistan.
Right?
That we're aware of.
How do we know? Right?
That we're
The
aware
only thing I
of.
thought of more was like almost like weapons there too, because fucking you can't trip, you can't walk 3 feet without tripping over a fucking something.
Yeah.
That place has been at war forever. So either way, absolutely craziness. And here's what I love. I got to point this one out. How fucking long have we been listening to, oh, all that shit's made up? TDA didn't take over a fucking apartment building down the street from where we fucking live and can go look at it.
Yeah. Where our
This
friends
didn't
go
happen.
every day.
That didn't happen. That is a club. That isn't even a club. That is a fucking building that's being illegally a business that is completely underground, completely illegal, by the way, if you want to read more. This is not, they don't have a liquor's license. Like, this is not a functional business with organized crime and U.S. military. We have some fucking issues, and we're trying to like sweep the ones under the carpet that work on, what story we want to say, and the other guy's story that, that's not real. That's not real. It's fucking crazy what's going on out there. Our country society is out of control. OC, bro.
You ever read a book called The Bear Went Over the Mountain?
I don't read books, bro.
You can get it on audiobook.
Ooh, I'll listen.
So it's all about what happened to the Russian military after they pulled out of Afghanistan in the 80s and the absolute decimation of the Russian military afterwards. We're on that path. Drugs, prostitution, all kinds of bad shit. The soldiers turns into not good people. They're back from combat.
All fucked up.
Bored.
Now
let's go fuck people up. And yeah, it's a great book.
And that's something we touched when we were talking about the defects. I was like, bro, thinking about something, it took me a little bit, but a couple of weeks after all the defact issues that were going on, I was like, bro, I've never been part of the military during a time of peace.
Yeah.
And I've heard stories about it. I've heard how much different it is. But as soon as I like that clicked to my head, I was like, oh, you know what? These guys are not in a time of war. They're not priority one.
These pictures that Joe are throwing up is fucking amazing. I mean, that's clearly the chick in the black top. That is clearly a sergeant first class in the United States Army.
Absolutely. I mean, shit, she could be commanding Fort McCoy. Fucking, or twin sister is one or the other.
That's the United States Army major right there. Let's bring on Chris. I want to hear his thoughts on this one. Chris, are you sitting in the green room being quiet?
I am.
You are? Now's the time to not be quiet, bud. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, boys will be boys.
This is what we talk to Vanilla. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to From the Ashes our very good friend, Chris Carter. You know him, you love him. He is the Vanilla Gorilla. Glad you're here, homeboy. Thank you so much for being a part of the show this evening. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me.
Dude, We had nobody else. I scraped the
figured.
bottom of the barrel. I picked up the barrel, looked underneath it, running down the stream. There was you.
I'm happy to help.
Chris,
He's gonna kick your ass later.
he does it all the time. What do you mean later? If I can barely shake the guy's hand without going to the VA for call. Chris, anyway, as we were saying, please, those of us that don't know you and love you, tell us start at the beginning. Tell us about your military career.
All right. So I graduated from CSU, Colorado State, in '86.
Go Rams, baby.
I had a civil engineering degree from there. And, I was poised to go into that field, and then I saw Top Gun. And I was one of the victims that wanted to be in that plane. So I contacted an Air Force recruiter first, and they wouldn't take me because I had a DUI when I was 18. And then they said, try the Navy. So I contacted a Navy recruiter, and he said, yeah, come on down and we'll interview you. And, they invited me to take a test for aviation because I told them I wanted to fly F-14s. And so I didn't even, I learned later that you're supposed to study for that test. I didn't take it. I didn't study. I just took it.
You should have just went to the infantry, Chris. You'd have just done amazing things.
So I got accepted into the program, and it was called the OSAM program. It stood for Officer, Sea, and Air Mariner. And basically you got to pick the plane that you wanted to fly as long as you agreed to be a backseater. And I didn't want to risk not getting that plane, so I agreed. And they sent me to AOCS, Aviation Officer Candidate School in Pensacola. That's where I earned my commission. And then I had the shortest naval career after that, where I went through basic, intermediate, and advanced flight school. And I was about 10 flights away from getting my NFO wings. And I ended up not being able to track the guy on the radar. I had stone hands. And they gave me
I agree.
They gave me 3 tries, and I wasn't able to do it. So they said, you're going to have to leave. So, or you could go supply, or you could go on a ship. And I wanted to fly, so I chose to leave. So I was pretty bummed out about that. It was 16 weeks in AOCS run by the Marine Corps. And so it was hard to get to that point, but God is good. And the first job I had when I got out was to work for an airport engineering company.
Oh.
So I was able to use my civil engineering degree, and do engineering for airports. And the thing that made it really cool was they believed all their engineers should be pilots. So they paid for me to get my pilot's license after the fact. So I was like, wow, this worked out really well. And so I did that for like 3 years. And then we were doing a thing where they were sending me out spring, summer, and fall to build these airports. And I would do the design work in the winter. And so I'd be out like 2 weeks at a time, and I'd get to come home for a weekend. And that wasn't working out with my marriage. So I said, listen, I need to maybe stay inside and support the guys that are outside. And they said, sure, we can do that. And then they sent me out again. So I quit that career and went into residential engineering and been there ever since.
And now you're the man that we all know and love. Look at you.
I guess.
So I've been friends with you for like 10 years, dude, and I have never heard the link to that story. So that's kind of awesome to hear. Look at me. I'm learning stuff about you every time I meet you. So
yeah, thanks.
So you get out, you're all done. You do your thing. Now you're working in residential engineering.
Yep, that's
But
what I am today.
the whole reason we've got you on here is because you're a veteran and you're an inventor. Let's talk that one through. How did this start?
Well, in my work, doing residential stuff, I'm always coming across problems with homes, and of course, gutters is one of them. Where they overflow and cause foundations to start moving. And I came up with a design to fix my own problem on my house. I had an ash tree right over a gutter, and every year, the leaves would.
You said ash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure. Keep talking, Chris. Sorry, my fault.
Every year, the leaves would clog the gutter and the downspout, and I'd have to get up there and take off the downspout and run a hose down it and clear it out. And I was just getting tired of doing that. And so I made my own little device to try and solve my problem, which was like a PVC pipe.
Mm-hmm.
Took a PVC pipe and I put an end cap on it and an elbow on the other end and cut a slot in the bottom and put it in the downspout. And it worked great. It kind of blocked out the leaves, but allowed, there it is, the water to rise up underneath and drain through the device. And so it sat there for a couple of years, just fixed my problem. And then one year, my father-in-law was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. And my wife and I were sitting around one day, and I said, geez, I wonder, if there's anything I could do to help out your mom and dad. So I wonder if I could do anything with that thing in the gutter. And she said, yeah, go for it. So I bought a book on how to patent it yourself and read the book. And at the time, the Denver Public Library was one of the few patent depository libraries in the country. So I would go there at night and do my patent search, and I didn't find any prior art, so decided to develop it. And so I assembled a team of other guys, 4 other guys that had different skills. One guy was a sales guy, one guy was a marketing guy, one guy was an operations guy, and I was the technical guy. And one of the guys was my brother-in-law, and he and I decided that if we ever saw any money from this thing, we would put half our profits away into a fund to try and help out his folks,
Mm-hmm.
So we went off doing this, and we ended up going to like the National Hardware Show and being discovered out there. QVC actually discovered us out there. And I got to be on QVC and Home Shopping Network, and Home Depot, all the big boxes discovered us, and we got into all those stores. And a few years later, my father-in-law had gotten to a point in his disease where he was getting out and getting into trouble,
Mm-hmm.
and getting lost. And so my mother-in-law, who went out to work for the first time ever because she had always been a homemaker, had to quit her job and take care of him. And it was a big crisis at the time because, they had no income and no savings. And so they were going to have to live with one of the kids. And so that's when my brother-in-law and I were able to go to them and say, listen, we've been putting this money away for the last few years from the gutter pump. Why don't you stay home and take care of your husband? And we gave her that nest egg, and she was able to do that until he had to be put in a home. And, he has since died, but
I'm sorry.
I'm going to quit talking bad about Chris.
No shit, man.
What the fuck?
What a guy.
Pretty decent human being.
I feel a little bit, not that bad, but I feel a little bit bad about the things I was going to say.
Yeah. Don't pick it on him for the rest of the show.
yeah.
Wait
So
till tomorrow morning.
I'm not going to make it. Sorry, Chris. You were talking?
no, it's still going on, and it's more of a hobby now for me. I just kind of maintain it. We sell them on Amazon now. There's a long story behind big box retailers. They don't really like what they call one SKU wonders. where you only have one product. They want you to be part of a distributor, and we didn't want to do that. So we started selling the catalogs, and then I got busy with my other businesses. So I just signed up with Amazon, and I just kind of send them product and they sell it and ship it from there. So,
Wow.
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Now, these
That's
are the
the story behind that.
success stories. This is why we have this show. Success stories like that.
Yeah.
That's fucking banging, dude. I mean, there's no other way to say it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So the reason it's called the gutter pump is, when you look at that other picture, you put it in the downspout, and water rises in the gutter, and it starts draining through the device from underneath. And once it goes underwater, it turns into a self-priming siphon and works just like a toilet does. So it actually sucks the water out of your gutter once it goes underwater. Keeps the leaves on top and around it.
Huh.
And you just came up with this, huh? That's pretty impressive.
Well, I came up with it by accident. I just kind of made that device to solve my problem. And then when I got the green light to go for it, I kind of did all the calculations and optimized it to work as a siphon. And
Does every home inspector and foundation company and roofing company know that you exist? Because
No, they don't want them to exist.
they don't. Yeah, no shit,
Right.
dude. But I mean, now that I know that, and I'm close family with my roofing guy, I'm gonna reach out and be like, "Hey, man, I need a couple of these."
yeah, it's funny. We used to try and sell those guys as a value-added item, like a novelty item for their business. You clean our gutters, and we'll put these gutter pumps in. But everybody's
Not exactly. Yeah, everybody's busy, he says. So, Chris, there's a whole bunch of veterans listening to this right now that are, looking to go to school, looking to start a business, looking to get their idea out there. Talk us through that. I mean, like you said, you spent a lot of hours in the library searching the patent things like that. Talk us through what it takes to get something like that out. Was it a real challenge? I mean,
Well, there's really a couple things. One is, if you're going to have an invention, you just have to make sure you have a market for it, because you could come up with the coolest thing and do all the right things, but if there's no market for it, nobody wants to buy it, then you're not going to sell it. That's the first thing.
yeah, I got a radio show based on exactly that problem, guy.
The second thing is you got to come up with a plan, like a business plan, but more of an operational plan, where you just kind of, you set a goal, like say you're going to open the doors in 6 months, and you work backwards, and you set milestones for each thing you want to accomplish along the way.
I feel like he's talking to us.
Uh-huh.
That's a good way to do it. And you just kind of focus on each little milestone until you get to your goal.
Was getting it actually in people's hands, was that an expensive thing for you to accomplish?
No, because we would go to the National Hardware Show in Chicago every year. And we would have a booth, and we had a really cool display that we used. I built a little house, with a roof on it and plexiglass gutters on it. And we pumped water onto the roof and filled the gutter with leaves, and they could actually see it working. So we were selling to buyers, from all different stores and chains, and they would take it and run with it.
That's awesome.
There's a couple little side stories that are pretty interesting too.
Hit it.
One of the things that you have to deal with when you come up with a good idea or a new idea is people want to knock it off, right? So there's a whole industry out there that I didn't know about, that they can see a new product, they can knock it off and get it to market within 2 weeks.
Did somebody steal your idea, bro?
Yeah. So we were at the hardware show one year, and somebody stole our idea. And before we had gotten back from the show, we got a call from one of our catalogs that said, "Hey, there's a new product out there, and it looks just like your gutter pump, but it's half the price." And they call it the Siphon. And what they did is they made a gutter pump shaped strainer where they just made it look like a gutter pump, but they drilled 6 holes in the top of it. So it wasn't a siphon, it was just a strainer.
So a cheap shitty knockoff.
So it didn't work either.
No, it didn't work, and they made it out of plastic that was lighter than water, so it would float out of the hole.
But fucking karma.
But my favorite part of this, so imagine you steal something from Chris Carter, and then somebody knocks on your fucking door at 10 o'clock at night, and the vanilla gorilla is standing at your door.
Hey, I pay for my father-in-law's health care because of this, you motherfucker. That's bro, I'm telling you, I'm telling somebody.
If an angry Chris Carter is at my front door, I'm not opening that motherfucker.
You just moved?
Yeah. We're selling the house, baby. We got to go.
Hey, so here's the cool thing about that, because the catalog was saying, why should we continue to buy the gutter pump and not this new version? I said, because our patent's going to issue in 2 weeks, and we're going to sue you guys for infringement if you do. Instead of suing the guy who knocked it off, we sent a letter out to all our customers explaining what's going on and what's happening. And if anybody buys it, we were going to sue them. And nobody bought it, and they had to go overseas with it.
So, and I'm assuming there's no feds that listen to this at all, but so where's that dude's body now?
Yeah, don't worry, you're not on the record
Look
here.
at Chris's face. Yeah, I ain't going to jail for that motherfucker. Chris, that's incredible, dude. That's the most amazing thing I've ever heard.
That's super cool.
Having met your beautiful wife and love her to little pieces, I want to get you back to her because you've taken time out of your evening to be with us. So it's
Thanks
time
for inviting me again.
No, sir. Thank you for taking the time
fun.
out of your day and being a part of the show. Dude, you have an open invitation. You want to come on here anytime. Hey, where can people get this?
Right now, it's just Amazon.
Okay, cool. So if you're listening to this, if you're a homeowner, hey, man, you're worried about your foundation, you're worried about your roof, you're worried about your gutter system, go on Amazon, support an excellent cause. He's our friend, and he'll probably buy us drinks if we keep doing this. So, yeah.
I wonder if we sold them out. We've done that for people before.
We have done it,
if we were going to get dinner tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or at least like Texas Roadhouse,
Yeah, no shit. Because New York strips are my favorite. You're a porterhouse guy, though, right?
I'm a fucking meat.
Yeah. Well,
Red's the favorite, but I'll eat all of it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Chris. Forgot you were there. My fault. Hey, before I turn you back to Mrs. Carter, I'm going to hand you back to my hetero life mate over here. He's going to give you all the outgoing instructions.
All right, Chris.
All right.
I'll see you soon, so we'll catch up more. But
that was a threat.
End of your time here. We'll give you 2 minutes. I'm sure you can perform well in 2 minutes. You get to bring up anything you want. Look, I didn't say chair force. I didn't call him semen. Nothing today.
You didn't. I'm very proud of you.
No,
I'm very proud of
that's
you.
rare.
Yeah.
We give you 2 minutes. You can talk about anything you want to, anything we glossed over, any items you had written down next to you wanted to share with our veteran community, whatever you want. You got about 2 minutes. We're trying not to interrupt or to call time on you, but time is yours.
Well, I'll just tell you another quick story how we got discovered by QVC. We went to an audition at the Adams County Fairgrounds, and they were looking for products for a new show they started called the 50 and 50 Tour, where they were going the top 20 products from each state in 50 weeks. And we went into this airport hangar and we set up our display, with the water and everything. And part of our display too is we had like a CD that would play a thunderclap every 5 minutes. So we set this thing up, and then when that CD went off, man, it just echoed through the whole thing because it was kind of a classical music, tea and cookies kind of affair.
That is awesome.
So we're waiting there for our turn for the buyer, the QVC buyer, to come by and hear our pitch. And there was this lady across from us who was selling like sewing machine pedals of some sort.
Okay.
And our buyer was right across from us looking at her thing. And all of a sudden, the plexiglass downspout came off and all this water came out and landed on the floor and started spreading out over the complex and right into this lady's sewing machine pedal. And and everyone was freaking out. And I'm there with towels saying, turn it off, turn it off. And I'm right at the heels of this lady, the buyer for QVC. And I said, see what happens when you don't have a gutter pump? We ended up getting selected. So that's how we got in. And the next day, I was on the front page of the business section of the Rocky Mountain News with my towels. And my boss saw it for the company I was working at. I called in sick to do the thing.
Fuck yeah. So, fuck the man.
I had some splaining to do.
Well, now that you said that way, before we cut you loose, we usually ask every guest, you got anything for the safety brief for this week?
I'm not familiar with the safety brief.
Oh, perfect.
And you are familiar with being in the military, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, every Friday before your weekend, your commander comes out and he goes, gentlemen, don't be fucking stupid. And he gives you a safety brief. Give us an item for a safety brief.
Well, I would say know which bar you're going to go into.
Ooh, I like that. I like that.
See, that's a good comedian. He brings it all the way back around to the beginning.
I think in particular, if you're in Colorado Springs, just don't go to bars.
Yeah, right. Stay home.
Because
have a beer at home.
They seem dangerous.
Yeah, bad shit happens. You lose rank, things like that.
You might get dead.
Know the bar you're going into.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been talking to our good friend, Chris Carter. You know him as the Vanilla Gorilla. Chris, I can't thank you enough for being a part of From the Ashes on About Face Media. We really, really appreciate your time. I know I see them all. I see all the comments. Patrick Rose, welcome to the show.
There's some great comments.
Chris, it's been great having you, man. Tell Mrs. Carter we all said hello. Have a great rest of your day.
Rob gave me that name, so maybe ask him why.
That's funny.
I think we all know.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Have a great night, Chris.
See you on the mats.
Bye.
That was great.
The most dangerous man in jiu-jitsu right there. God,
I told you that when I first came in, he did privates with me. Ross was like, you're doing privates with Seth for a while. And I was like, okay. That's a terrible idea for my my little frail wrists, bro. Fuck. I'm not a large man.
That is, when that man gets a hold of you, look out is all I'm saying. Hold on, because it's going to suck. So,
man. And
heaven forbid he gets on top, because you're fucked. Yeah, you can give me the side eye if you want to. I said what I said, and I know what I said. I hope, is Allie here? I can't see if below the line. If she's
I can't see anything. Everything's very confusing.
Well, Joe is so good at it. Look at how well he's got it all organized.
He's got lots of things.
Yeah.
It's organized and there's lots of things, so I can't understand.
Whoa.
What the hell?
Check out the new hair.
Yeah, because I totally forgot what day it was, and I literally jumped out of the bathtub.
First of all, I love that you take baths on Monday nights. That's my favorite part.
I do.
Second of all, I love,
bro, it's every night.
The timeline always lines up with the show. In one way or another.
Always.
It does. It's my nighttime. I'm relaxed. I got my tea.
She has never done a radio show from her bathtub ever.
Not once. Not that I've ever seen.
Never.
You can find it in our archives.
Shit, you know damn well I've done it twice.
I want every show. We should clip for like 10 seconds and make a whole video, and then like Allie going off on a random night saying how she's never done it before. Serious as a heart attack.
Our listeners from WTF Moments are scrolling through the archives.
They're
right
like,
now
wait
going,
a minute.
Which one is this one?
I've done it twice. One with a towel, one without a towel.
I'm sure I don't know
Shut
what
up,
you mean.
Seth.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut up.
I love being married.
Yeah, your wife will fucking kill you. Money's
exactly. That's exactly right. Anyway, Allie, as we have talked about throughout the week, I've talked to a bunch of friends. A bunch of my friends are getting back. Not that I help them with their claim or anything, because that would be completely illegal. Are getting back. Congratulations. Here's your claim. You got 10% for tinnitus, or something like that. You say, you can say it that way if you want to. And they got like 10 other things that are deferred.
Yeah.
Talk us through this.
deferment is not this is hard, guys. I gotta have to do this. A deferment is not a denial. Okay. A deferment just means that there isn't enough evidence to make a decision either way. There isn't enough evidence to grant the claim, and there isn't enough evidence to deny the claim. So usually why there's a deferment is because the examining physician or PA or CNA or whatever checked a box they weren't supposed to check, or like checked two boxes that contradict each other, or the notes were illegible, or it was cookie cutter and the rater is like, what the fuck? You say no range of motion, but then you have full range of motion. Like, what is it? So a deferment just means that there's an error somewhere, usually in the examination or in the medical records. Like, one medical record says this to confirm, but then a month later, your medical notes say this to deny it. And then another medical record a year later says confirmed. And then another medical record says not that bad. So the raters have to give the veterans the benefit of the doubt. However, in recent months under the new administration, the VA has gotten rid of the benefit of the doubt. So usually if a rater was like, which way do I go? All right, I'm gonna rate the veteran. They no longer take into consideration the benefit of the doubt. So thanks, administration, for that.
So
but that's what that means, is a deferment is not a denial. It just means that they have to send it back down the pike for clarification and development.
So
did I catch on where you're making it out like this is becoming more and more prevalent?
This is becoming more and more prevalent.
Okay.
Everyone that I've talked to lately that I submitted a claim is getting that answer. So I have a very good friend, Ernie, who I smoke a lot of cigars with.
Yep.
His theory and thought was, hey, I go through this whole process. They're saying that they're trying to shorten the time that people are getting their claims back in. His theory is, hey, they gave me my 10% for, fucking small testicles or wherever it may be. All these other things, now they can say, hey, they got me back my VA rating in a matter of a few short weeks.
Yep. All you need is 10% to be a service-connected disabled veteran. And that opens up doors to VA healthcare, the national parks, excise taxes, property tax abatements. 10% is all you need.
So,
but, that's a good theory. I don't know because I have not heard that, but you cannot get 10% for small testicles.
What about large testicles?
Neither one.
You can get percentage for enlarged testes. Yes.
Damn. All right. Anyway, I'm going to need you to kick me in the nuts 3 times after the end of the show. Okay.
I got nothing.
Micro penises are not claimable either. So sorry.
Good times. Good times.
So
What?
Deferment. If you get a deferment, like, it's frustrating because you've been waiting all this time. You go to the exam. Just know that sometimes a deferment will work in your favor, because if the rater is any good, they will defer it rather than deny it. And it'll kind of give you an extra chance to submit new and relevant evidence. And it'll give the doctor, the examiner, because they're not fucking doctors, the examiner a chance to clarify. So don't look at it like a deferment is a bad thing.
Very cool. Very cool. Good information.
I'm going to assume that should not affect your back pay. If
no,
you sort out the deferment, it would go back to your original file date, correct? That all of a sudden popped in my head. I'm like, if I defer everything and give him 10% and then he fights it, does it go back to that date? Are they trying to buy some fucking back pay or something like that? Okay.
No,
I just wanted to hear that.
The date of claim. Yeah.
Yeah. I have at least 3 friends that are going through this exact thing right this second. So yeah, they got, 10% for, something small or whatever, a thumbs up on that, but everything else got deferred. Knee pain and and that's what we're saying is like the major shit is getting deferred, but the stupid little shit that they file for is getting thumbs up.
So read the decision letter, read the actual summary. So if you get, that big ass packet, it's all the way in the back. It's like the last 5 pages of the packet explain why it was deferred. And if the rater is worth a damn, they will take the time to write a summary and explain exactly what they were looking for, what you need to have, and why it was deferred. Read your decision letter.
Okay. All right. So there may be more things that the veteran needs to do. That was not
Absolutely.
what the one friend got. He got, hey, we're just reviewing your paperwork. We're going through it again. We're redoing stuff. Thumbs up, and you're good to go. My other friend, she's getting fuck off. We'll get to you when we get to you.
Yeah. And it depends on where the rater is, right? Because once you file a claim, it goes to Wisconsin, it goes to Janesville, Wisconsin.
Where the fuck is that?
Yeah, I have no idea, but that's where all VA claims go. Janesville, Wisconsin. Mm-hmm.
What the? Well, road trip.
PO Box 4444.
And VA claims.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
VA claims.
So I made a TikTok about this because I would love to see what PO Box 4444 in Janesville, Wisconsin looks like, because
Fucking mess.
everything goes to PO Box 4444. So it's got to be like a vault, right? It's got to be like a huge ass room.
It's not important enough to them to have a vault for us.
Yeah.
There's probably some.
It's a leaky warehouse.
Fucking shopping cart they stole from the homeless guy out there. Throw your shit here.
From Target.
Maybe we'll fucking get to it.
One wheel doesn't work because they didn't put the quarter in when they stole it and shit.
Fucking age just wiped across the fucking handle.
Oh my God.
She said vault. That's
why the VA comes back. You get a letter that says, "Sorry, we can't find your claim." It's because it's in the floor.
It's in the shopping cart. See, now she's gonna picture it every time.
Guy fucking jacked it back one day so he could have something to heat him up.
And he's got all the paperwork with him.
He built his fucking bonfire with all the claims left in the carriage.
Every single time she sends something to office box 4444, she's gonna be like, please put this in the shopping carriage. We'll refer to it later.
I want a listener to email me like a meme of post office box 4444 with the shopping cart, and I'm going to display it on my wall in my office. Because when people ask, like, where do I send it? I'm just going to point to 4444 shopping cart.
Vic Garabosio, if you are listening right now, you have been tasked, motherfucker. Make shit happen. You'll have it. You'll have it within a very short period of time.
arodriguez@taunton-ma.com. Send it to me. I want it.
You're going to start photocopying it and sticking it in the fucking envelope when you send shit off. That's all. Please add this to the shopping cart. That's awesome.
Process accordingly.
Oh, we're laughing at our pain. Joe's already fucking making memes.
He's already doing
Joe's
shit.
already doing it. Oh my God.
Joe, you gotta do it like a fucking mailbox attached to a shopping cart.
Yeah, no shit, man. With a baseball bat. 3 kids taking a baseball bat to it.
I want
Holy crap, that's fucking awesome.
So don't think deferment is bad. Look at it as your opportunity to submit more evidence in your favor. And all you need is 10% to get into VA healthcare without having to disclose your income. So VA healthcare, for those that don't know, are like, oh, I got denied from the VA. They say I make too much money. Yes, the VA healthcare side, because the VA has 3 different legs: healthcare, compensation, and cemeteries. The healthcare side can deny you for being over income unless you have a service-connected disability. Then you don't have to disclose your income, and you can get VA healthcare for what you are being service-connected for. So if it's small testicles, you'll get a urologist, and you will go, and your healthcare will be free for your small testes.
You're good to get juggled, Ernie. Look at you. So I love that he's listening right now. It's my favorite part of the whole thing. Before we cut you loose, Allie, what do you got? We need something safe to breathe for us.
So I took the day off work because I wasn't feeling great, and it was such a beautiful day for the first day we've had like forever. And I sat outside and I finished a book, and by the time I went inside, I am completely sunburnt, like my arms, my legs.
I say shit, but Rudolph over here has fucking got a burn ass nose
from the Massachusetts sun.
Yeah, wear sunscreen or sun clothing or sit in the shade. Yeah, like
don't put sunscreen on. That shit'll kill you.
Pretty bad. And this is just
holy shit.
Yeah.
You are well done on both sides, girl.
Yeah. And that's just from sitting in the sun. Yeah.
What was the book?
It was called The Heretic. It's good.
They wrote a book about us?
They did actually.
Well,
Yeah, it's
I'll have to
by
look it up.
Joseph Nassis. It's got 8 books in the series. It's fantastic. But yeah, I was sitting out there and I was enjoying the sunshine and I got carried away. And before you know it, I finished the book. And then my leg, you should see my legs too, but I'm not wearing any pants, so I can't show you my legs. But I am burnt.
I wouldn't either if I was that deep of a shade of purple.
No shit,
Yeah.
50 Shades of Red.
Yeah.
All right,
it's-
we'll go
yeah.
watch your helicopter show and
Bye.
tell him we said hello, and we'll see you in
I will.
October, boss. Bye.
All right, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Holy shit, man. Fucking A.
Dude, I saw that nose come on and I was like, shut up, Seth. Shut up, motherfucker. I've been telling myself to shut up this whole episode.
You have.
Well,
what's going on?
Because I had funnies that were beyond acceptable. I was like, leave it alone. That's when we're not recorded.
Are you
At some
aging
point,
or something?
at
What's
some
happening?
point, people are going to be able to go back and hear things we said.
Oh yeah. And when
So
you're-
at some point, there has to not be necessarily a line, but there's got to be like sometimes let it go, bro.
what he's saying is when he runs for United States Senate.
This is MAGA country. Say it.
It's MAGA
Fucking First Amendment is back in effect.
No,
Fuck,
not
bro.
the-
Dude,
not
it's
the
gonna be
second.
like when I got that fucking I got one of the many times I've been grounded from Facebook. It was from a post like 11 years ago. I did a few years ago. They sent me like 5 different suspensions, back-to-back ones, and each ones were things that were a decade plus ago. Like fucking original year of being on Facebook. They're like, that's an inappropriate meme you posted. Who fucking cares? Even one of them was in a secret group called like fucked up memes or something like that. And they fucking get me for it. And I'm like, what? So they're going to fucking 20 years from now, they're going to pull up an old episode of From the Ashes and they're going to be like, you know what?
Delete.
Off to the concentration camp for you.
You need some re-education.
What's your item for safety brief?
Oh my
No, I got it. Don't worry.
Go ahead.
Look, folks, protect your head, protect your back, protect your hip, protect your knees. Put a gutter pump in. Don't clean out your fucking gutters and fall off.
And that's all we need. You summed it up perfectly.
You were going to use it too, weren't you?
I wasn't,
Oh,
but
okay.
I love that. Dude.
That's why I was like,
fucking
oh, what's yours?
outstanding.
Nah, never mind. I'll go
Fuck
first.
yours.
I didn't have a second. I didn't have a
you
second.
need- All right. All right, folks. We're come to that point of the show. I know we all hate it. I know I hate ending the show on a low point. But this is important. It's very, very important. So as we come to our section called Never Forgotten, I need you folks to know that our nation's service members, our nation's first responders are still taking their lives at an alarming rate. It's not 22 a day. It's closer to 44 or 46 a day. Don't just reach out. Don't just send a Facebook message. Don't just phone call is great. Make the phone call. See them face to face. It's even better. Please connect with your friends. Stay connected. And ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to it, please don't make a decision that will affect your family members and those around you who love you. Ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's Never Forgotten, Sergeant First Class Ryan Baumgardner died last Wednesday. The following was a share of his father's, Mark's, Facebook post. Many things might be said about, I'm going to read this in its entirety, folks, so get comfortable. Many things might be said about Ryan, but I will name only a few. He was born in Zanesville, Ohio, and raised in Tampa, Florida. He was talkative, outgoing, had many friends. He served in the Army for 21 years, advancing up through the ranks as a combat infantryman and drill sergeant. He was deployed 4 times, 3 to Iraq and 1 to Afghanistan. He loved his job and loved the guys who served with him. Ryan chose to retire with an honorable discharge in 2022, ending his career at Fort Bliss, Texas, with a final rank of Sergeant First Class. Ryan moved back to Florida after he retired and lived with us for over 2 years while he was hunting for a house. He found his next passion by working in the Veterans Administration in the greater Tampa Bay, offering help to others navigating their benefits and disability claims. He went on many adventures together, kayaking, gym workouts, dinners, visited state parks, and even went on a trip to Iceland. We talked daily, and I treasure the opportunity it gave for us to grow close in his adult years. That was a blessing because he had been gone for so long when he was in the Army. I will remember him as a good son, a loyal friend, a man with a good heart, willing to help others. I loved him dearly and will miss him greatly. Rest in peace, my son. My heart is heavy, but my Savior is near. A loving and grieving father, Mark Baumgardner. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight when you say your prayers, you put your hands together. please remember Sergeant First Class Ryan Baumgardner. Not just him. Please remember his family, those around him, and those that are going to miss him. I hate this part of the show sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to From the Ashes on About Face Media. I can't thank you enough for joining us. Please support those that support us. Combat Flip-Flops, Thigh Huggers, all those great organizations, C4, Sheetrock, and Drywall. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you enough for listening to From the Ashes on About Face Media. We will be back next week. Please subscribe on all our podcast platforms, and thank you so much for your time tonight. Have a great rest of your evening.